Guys, let's hold with you today. See, I made it from silicone paste, Aigang silicone paste from the Resin Pro company. Artula made this kind of a mold and imprinted snakes in it. Here they are lying, crumbs from my tiny mafia. I specifically went to the store and bought only for myself, but of course the boys spoiled everything. I mixed liquid resin, liquid transparent resin. If you see in the lower right corner, it looks like this. If you want, I'll give you a promo code for a discount. When ordering, there's a field for a promo code. Enter it and get a 10% discount. I divided it into 3 cups. See, the first circle will be pearlescent for me. It can be very thick or not so thick. It could be pearlescent or non-pearlescent for you. In general, decide for yourself, but divide the gradation like this for yourself. If you make it thick, the next layer should be softer. Stained glass, understood. That is, I want to make it pearlescent and thick enough. I have 7 drops, 7 drops. Brown pigment, and on the ends of the spatula you saw I added a dry pigment. Always check on the spatula. Verify how dense your color is, how transparent. Mix well. Always keep in mind, in the cup, in volume, the resin appears brighter and more saturated. So also think about that. Always think that liquid, it whimsically reacts to humidity. Cold, I wanted to say drafts, a decrease in temperature, especially if you have humidity, your humidity will be high. Even a little humidity. A high humidity will give you an amine film. The second color I need is stained glass. You see, I have such a blue. Although the color is quite dense in its structure, it is stained glass. The pigment I have is from the company. Regarding the same resin, the third color I have is white. The white should be saturated, and then, at the end of the video, when I had already done the demolding, I realized that you could have made the white even denser. So don't repeat my mistakes. Knead tightly, tightly, tightly. White, for example, I dropped about 15 drops for 30 g of liquid resin, but you need more. You can do 22 drops. I also check on. The spatula then seemed dense. Well, everything is learned in practice. Remove everything from the table that's bothering you. Prepare things for the middle. Set everything up evenly. Lay it out. Prepare everything needed for work so you don't run around fussing in your room. Always check your table to make sure the level is even. Fortunately, our phones have such a gadget, a level app. I always check the level before pouring because it would be a shame if you created a cool pattern, mixed cool colors, and basically wasted resin if your level is crooked. The first layer we're making is brownish purple. The second layer can be poured directly in the center with the blue resin, but you can also make it round if your mold allows. And now at the intersection of the purple and blue, in a neat little stream, not splashing, we draw circles. It reminds me of the time when there was a boom and people used to draw all kinds of circles. By the way, you can use lambs, you can use curls. You also get an interesting effect by pouring the clear resin into the center. Pay close attention to the height of your mold so that you don't pour too much. My mold will be poured in 2 stages. Now I'm pouring the design. The second stage will be darkening it. I'm decorating the middle. We do it quickly. Don't fuss, because you see how quickly the resin closes. If you've done everything right, your resin will also run into the middle, bringing you joy. Leave it, remove the bubbles, and let it polymerize until the next layer. In the next part, I'll tell you what I messed up, but I'm showing you the step-by-step process in which you knead some dense pigment into the dense resin and cover it with color after the first layer has hardened. A category, there's never been anything like it. Here it is again. When I was filling the first cup holder, the experiment with the snakes in the pier. Silicone paste igam. It needs to be done in 2 stages. The first is to fill the pattern itself. The second is to, oh boy, the drawing, you should have seen it yesterday when I ran to work. I'll show you. Now I'll look at the drawing. It's enough just to flip it to see it from the back, because you have to pour the second part. But Natasha automatically starts to bend the mold. Only then remembers in the middle that I need to pour the second part. I take some latex and glue it again. And of course, what happens when you pour a layer on top? If there's some crack, this layer will seep down.
And it definitely seeped. I haven't seen it, but I know it's seeped. Let's take it off. We can at least look at the edges that were made. The raven bird is known for its intelligence and wittiness. I don't even want to look. Now, well, of course, I can already see. I can already see the layers of latex. Here, here, here. This is what I had to prove. But anyway, take a look. Now we're going to work on the finish. Grinding, polishing the snakes. Can you see these snakes and how they're naturally imprinted, just like real ones? By the way, Julia and I want to make a silicone mold from these blanks, so soon there'll be snakes everywhere.
Well, I went to work with the finish. I sanded all the irregularities, cut off with a utility knife, leveled, even framed the edges, removed. Now I'm covering the finish. Anyone who's subscribed to me knows how to cover the finish. Yeah, everyone knows how to do it. If not, scroll down below. There are plenty of lessons on the finish line. Around 15, I think. We overlap, finish, stretch it out nicely, don't scratch it. And I also created a little snake and glued it on top. Generally, snakes are attacking. There's even more useful stuff for you on my learning platforms such as Patreon and Boosty. There are lessons with step-by-step calculations and diagrams. If something doesn't work out, write to me. Thank you for watching me. We're breaking up. Everyone's fine. Mood's great. I'd love to see your experiments. Bye bye.